What's going on, everybody? Sports Player 2.0 Daniel here. And guys, we went 5-3 in the NHL, 4-1 in the NBA, and 4-10 in the MLB. So we had a good day in the NHL, 2 games over 500. We had a great day in the NBA, 4-1, only 1 wrong out of 5 games, which is not bad. And in the MLB, horrible day, 4-10, 6 games under 500. So we really need a rebound in the MLB. So let's move on to tomorrow's games. The Sharks are going to Vegas to face the Golden Knights. The Sharks come in at 18-22-5, and the Golden Knights come in at 32-11-2. The last game for the Vegas Golden Knights, they won 3-2 in a shootout versus the Sharks. They played against each other last game. And the likely starters for this game is Martin Jones for the San Jose Sharks and Marc-Andre Fleury for the Vegas Golden Knights. And the Vegas Golden Knights are a favorite in this one. Give me the Golden Knights to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Nashville Predators going to Chicago to face the Blackhawks. The Predators come in at 25-21-1, and the Blackhawks come in at 21-20-5. The last game these two teams played last time, and the Nashville Predators won 5-2. The likely starters for this game is UC Saros for the Nashville Predators and Kevin Lankinen for the Chicago Blackhawks. And the Nashville Predators are a favorite in this one. Give me the Predators to win this game on the road in Chicago. Next up, we have the Minnesota Wild going to Arizona to face the Coyotes. The Wild come in at 28-13-3, and the Coyotes come in at 20-21-5. The last game these two teams played last time, and the Minnesota Wild won 5-2. The likely starters for this game is Cam Talbot for the Minnesota Wild and Darcy Kempfer for the Arizona Coyotes. And the Minnesota Wild are a favorite in this one. Give me the Wild to win this game on the road in Arizona. Next up, we have the Montreal Canadiens going to Edmonton to face the Oilers. The Canadiens come in at 19-15-9, and the Oilers come in at 27-15-2. The last game these two teams played last time, and the Edmonton Oilers won 4-1. The likely starters for this game is Jake Allen for the Montreal Canadiens and Mike Smith for the Edmonton Oilers. And the Edmonton Oilers are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Canadiens to win this game on the road in Edmonton. And that does it for the NHL. Let's move on to the NBA. The Hawks are going to New York to face the Knicks. The Hawks come in at 32-26, and the Knicks come in at 32-27, and the New York Knicks are a favorite. Are a 2-point favorite in this one. Give me the Knicks to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Chicago Bulls going to Cleveland to face the Cavaliers. The Bulls come in at 24-33, and the Cavaliers come in at 20-37, and the Chicago Bulls are a 2-point favorite in this one. Give me the Bulls to win this game on the road in Cleveland. Next up, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder going to Indiana to face the Pacers. The Thunder come in at 20-38. And the Pacers come in at 26-31, and I don't know who's favorite in this one, but give me the Thunder to win this game on the road in Indiana. Next up, we have the Phoenix Suns going to Philadelphia to face the 76ers. The Suns come in at 41-16, and the 76ers come in at 39-18. I'm going to go with the home team here. Give me the 76ers to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Golden State Warriors going to Washington to face the Wizards. The Warriors come in at 29-29, and the Wizards come in at 24-33, and the Golden State Warriors are a 2-point favorite in this one. Give me the Warriors to win this game on the road in Washington. Next up, we have the Brooklyn Nets going to Tampa Bay to face the Raptors. The Nets come in at 39-19, and the Raptors come in at 24-34. I'm going to go with the Nets here. Give me the Nets to win this game on the road in Tampa Bay. Next up, we have the Utah Jazz Jazz going to Houston to face the Rockets. The Jazz come in at 43-15, and the Rockets come in at the opposite, 15-43, and the Utah Jazz are 11-point favorite in this one. Give me the Jazz to win this game on the road in Houston. Next up, we have the Pistons going to Dallas to face the Mavericks. The Pistons come in at 18-40, and the Mavericks come in at 30-26. I'm going to go with the home team here. Give me the Mavericks to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Miami Heat going to San Antonio to face the Spurs. The Heat come in at 30-28, and the Spurs come in at 28-28. I'm going to go with the Heat here. Give me the Heat to win this game on the road in San Antonio. Next up, we have the Memphis Grizzlies going to Los Angeles to face the Clippers. The Grizzlies come in at 29-27, and the Clippers come in at 41-19. I'm going to go with the Grizzlies here. Give me the Grizzlies to win this game on the road in Los Angeles. Next up, we have the Denver Nuggets going to Portland to face the Trailblazers. The Nuggets come in at 37-20, and the Trailblazers come in at 32-25. I'm gonna go with the Nuggets here. Give me the Nuggets to win this game on the road in Portland. And the final match of the day in the NBA, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves going to Sacramento to face the Kings. The Timberwolves come in at 16-43, and the Kings come in at 23-35. And the Sacramento Kings are a 5-point favorite in this one. These two teams played today, and the Timberwolves won. The Timberwolves beat the Kings yesterday. Well, today, because I don't know. And the Sacramento Kings are a 5-point favorite in this one. I think the Kings will get revenge on the Timberwolves and beat them this time. So give me the Kings at home. And that does it for the NBA. Let's move on to the MLB. We have the Diamondbacks and the Reds. They got postponed at 5-4. The Diamondbacks were leading the Reds by a score of 5-4. This game will resume at 5:10 a.m. Eastern. PM Eastern. I picked the Diamondbacks to win this game, but I did not count it because it's still going. So I have the Diamondbacks in this game. Like, if you guys watched the last video, I picked the Diamondbacks. So yes, I'm going to go with the Diamondbacks in that game. Next up, we have the New York Mets going to Chicago to face the Cubs. The Mets come in at 7-5, and the Cubs come in at 7-9. Game 1 of this series was won by the Chicago Cubs by a final score of 3-1. The pitching matchup for this game is David Peterson for the New York Mets and Zach Davies for the Chicago Cubs. And the New York Mets are a favorite in this one. Give me the Mets to win this game on the road in Chicago, and there's no over-under for this game yet. Next up, we have the San Francisco Giants going to Philadelphia to face the Phillies. The Giants come in at 11-6, and the Phillies come in at 8-9. Game 1 of this series was won by the San Francisco Giants by a final score of 2-0. Game 2 of this series was won by the San Francisco Giants by a final score of 10-7. So the Giants have taken the first two games, and they're looking to sweep the Phillies here. And the pitching matchup for this game is Anthony Desclafani for the San Francisco Giants and Zach Eflin for the Philadelphia Phillies. And the Philadelphia Phillies are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Giants to win this game on the road in Philadelphia, and give me the over 8 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Baltimore Orioles going to Miami to face the Marlins. The Orioles come in at 8-9, and the Marlins come in at 7-9. Game 1 of this series was won by the Baltimore Orioles by a final score of 7-5. The pitching matchup for this game is Bruce Zimmerman for the Baltimore Orioles and Trevor Rogers for the Miami Marlins. And the Miami Marlins are a favorite in this one. Give me the Marlins to win this game at home, and give me the over 7.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have game 1 of a doubleheader, the Pirates and the Tigers. The Pirates come in at 7-9, and the Tigers come in at 6-10. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, their last series, they won their series. They won the series two out of the three games against the Brewers. And for the Detroit Tigers, they got swept by the Athletics. They lost all 4 games against the Athletics. And the pitching matchup for this game is Tyler Anderson for the Pittsburgh Pirates and Michael Fulmer for the Detroit Tigers. And I don't know who's favored in this one, but give me the Tigers 2 in this game at home. Next up, we have the Houston Astros going to Colorado to face the Rockies. The Astros come in at 7-9, and the Rockies come in at 5-12. Game 1 of this series was won by the Colorado Rockies by a final score of 6-2. The pitching matchup for this game is Jose Urquidy for the Houston Astros and Austin Gomber for the Colorado Rockies. And the Houston Astros are a favorite in this one. Give me the Astros 2 in this game on the road in Colorado, and give me the over 10.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Minnesota Twins going to Oakland to face the Athletics. The Twins come in at 6-10, and the Athletics come in at 11-7. Game 1 of this series was won by the Oakland Athletics by a final score of 7-0. This was the doubleheader between these two teams. So Game 1 was won by the Oakland Athletics by a final score of 7-0. Game 2 of this series was won by the Oakland Athletics by a final score of 1-0. So the Oakland Athletics have held the Twins to 0 runs in 2 games. That's impressive right there. And the pitching matchup for this game is Kenta Maeda for the Minnesota Twins and Frankie Montas for the Oakland Athletics. And this one's a pick'em, so I'm going to pick the Twins to win this game on the road in Oakland and give me the under 8 runs in that game. Next up, we have the St. Louis Cardinals going to Washington to face the Nationals. The Cardinals come in at 8-9, and the Nationals come in at 6-9. The Game 1 of this series was won by the St. Louis Cardinals by a final score of 12-5. Game 2 of this series was won by the Washington Nationals by a final score of 3-2. So whoever wins this game will win the series. And the pitching matchup for this game is Carlos Martinez for the St. Louis Cardinals and Max Scherzer for the Washington Nationals. And the Washington Nationals are a favorite in this one. Give me the Nationals to win this game at home, and give me the over 8 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Texas Rangers going to Los Angeles to face the Angels. The Rangers come in at 8-10, and the Angels come in at 9-6. Game 1 of this series was won by the Texas Rangers by a final score of 6-4. Game 2 of this series was won by the LA Angels by a final score of 6-2. The pitching matchup for this game is Mike Foltynewicz for the Texas Rangers and Jose Quintana for the Los Angeles Angels. And the Los Angeles Angels are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Rangers to win this game on the road in Los Angeles, and give me the over 8.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Milwaukee Brewers going to San Diego to face the Padres. The Brewers come in at 10-7, and the Padres come in at 10-9. Game 1 of this series was won by the Milwaukee Brewers by a final score of 3-1. Game 2 of this series was won by the Milwaukee Brewers by a final score of 6-0. So the Brewers are looking to sweep the Padres. And the pitching matchup for this game is Adrian Hauser for the Milwaukee Brewers and Dinelson Lamet for the San Diego Padres. And the San Diego Padres are a favorite in this one. Give me the Padres to win this game at home, and give me the under 7.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the White Sox going to to Cleveland to face the Indians. The White Sox come in at 9-9, and the Indians come in at 8-8. Game 1 of this series was won by the Chicago White Sox by a final score of 8-5. The pitching matchup for this game is undecided for the Chicago White Sox and Aaron Cavale for the Cleveland Indians. And I don't know who's favored in this one, but give me the Indians to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Atlanta Braves going to New York to face the Yankees. The Braves come in at 7-10, and the Yankees come in at 6-10. Game 1 of this series was won by the New York Yankees by a final score of 3-1. The Yankees finally broke their losing streak. Pitching matchup for this game is Ian Anderson for the Atlanta Braves and Corey Kluber for the New York Yankees. And the New York Yankees are a favorite in this one. Give me the Yankees to win this game at home and give me the over 9 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks going to Cincinnati to face the Reds. The Diamondbacks come in at 6-10, and the Reds come in at 9-6. Like the last game, like I said, is in continuation, so we don't know what will happen. And the pitching matchup for this game is Merrill Kelly for the Arizona Diamondbacks and Tyler Mahle for the Cincinnati Reds. And the Cincinnati Reds are a favorite in this one. Give me the Reds to win this game at home and give me the under 8.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have Game 2 of the Pirates and the Tigers doubleheader. The pitching matchup for this game is undecided for the Pittsburgh Pirates and Spencer Turnbull for the Detroit Tigers. I'm going to pick the Pirates this time, so give me the Pirates to win this game on the road in Detroit. And like I said, there's no favorite. Next up, we have the Toronto Blue Jays going to Boston to face the Red Sox. The Blue Jays come in at 7-10, and the Red Sox come in at 12-6. Game 1 of this series was won by the Boston Red Sox by a final score of 4-2. The pitching matchup for this game is Trent Thornton for the Toronto Blue Jays and Garrett Richards for the Boston Red Sox. And I don't know who's favorite in this one, but give me the home team to win this game at home. The Red Sox. Give me the Red Sox to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Rays going to Kansas City to face the Royals. The Rays come in at 10-8, and the Royals come in at 9-7. Game 1 of this series was won by the Tampa Bay Rays by a final score of 4-1. Game 2 of this series was won by the Tampa Bay Rays by a final score of 14-7. And the pitching matchup for this game is Michael Wacha for the Tampa Bay Rays and Jacob Junis for the Kansas City Royals. And I don't know who's favorite in this one, but give me the Royals to win this game at home. And that does it for today's picks for tomorrow's games. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please give me the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.